If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome everyone to the Morning Swim Show on Thursday, July 18th, 2013. I'm your host, Jeff Commings. Joining us shortly today in the Finis Monitor will be two training partners who happen to be two of Great Britain's best chances for medals in a couple of weeks at the World Championships. Michael Jamieson and Andrew Willis will swim the 200 breaststroke in Barcelona, with Jamieson going into the meet as the top qualifier and Willis number 3. They're making final preparations at a special training camp in Mallorca, Spain. And that's where they join us now via Skype. Andrew is on our left and Michael is on our right. Guys, it's great to see you. How are you today?
Yeah, good, thanks. Thanks for having us on the show.
Well, it's good to have you. The weather in Mallorca has got to be fantastic right now.
Yeah, it's great to be out here. We're training at the best centre here, and this is a popular destination for a lot of European camps, and it's good to get some sun and to be able to kind of relax and put our final preparations together before Barcelona.
Andrew, what is it like to be able to train at this pool, which we've seen pictures of, we've talked to people from there before. What is it like to be able to train there, first of all, away from home a couple weeks before Worlds?
Yes, it's great. There's a few of us from Bath out here at the moment, and I think that great facilities, obviously the weather is amazing, and it's just good for us to come away and really start to focus on the Worlds. And it could have been quite hard getting back into training back in Bath, but coming out here to the best centre, everything we need, great facilities, the weather, the pool's amazing, great for video footage, so you couldn't ask much more leading into the Worlds.
You say it would have been hard to get back into training in Bath. Is it just because at home you just have a different mental focus?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's been quite a long season going into the trials. It's nice to get change of scenery. Really, it's good for everyone to come away and not really have to worry about anything back home and just really focus on our training.
Have you been able to do any sightseeing? I know Mallorca is not very big; it's a pretty small island. But are you able to do any sightseeing, or are you under any strict orders to just stay in your room unless you're training?
We managed a boat trip on the weekend. Sort of went down the coast and had a bit of a paddle, but nothing, we haven't been, walking too far or stuff like that, but we've been out and about.
Yeah, just spending a few of our sessions off down by the beach.
Well, that's a great way to kind of relax between training sessions, I would imagine. You can't get that in England.
No, so it's maybe quite hot back home, but there's not really a beach nearby, so that's great.
How much longer are you guys there in Mallorca?
We're actually leaving tomorrow morning. We've been here for 2 weeks, so we go back to Bath tomorrow morning for a few days just to kind of regroup, and then we're meeting up with the rest of the Great British team on Monday in London before we fly out to the holding camp.
Now there are, correct me if I'm wrong, including you two, there are 5 swimmers from Bath on the World Championship team. Is that right?
Yeah. 5 of us made the team from the trials, and we were unlucky not to have a couple more as well.
Yeah, but that's still, for your, to have 5 out of, I believe it's like 27, that's a pretty good ratio for one team.
Yeah, obviously now we've got a great team in Bath, and, we're looking for results now. So we want to get people on the team, and like Michael said, we could have a few more. But it's great to have, a good bulk of the guys from Bath competing at the Worlds.
Now, the Bath Intensive Training Center is what it's called there. Intensive makes it sound so intimidating. Is that the case, Michael?
I think most of our group now, we're all full-time athletes. We're all kind of in the sport to qualify and race at the major meets and challenge for medals. So, the support staff network around the squad, and the actual program that we go through is kind of headed towards that. And we've got a great squad of athletes, we've got a great squad of staff as well, and I think everyone's kind of pulling in the same direction now.
And Michael, as everybody could probably tell by your accent, you grew up in Scotland. What was behind the decision for you to cross the border and go to university in England?
My accent's actually softened a bit over the past few years. And,
I can understand when he first joined, just for the record.
I've kind of travelled around a bit the past few years. I was based in Edinburgh initially after leaving school in Glasgow with Fred Vernew, and I followed him out to Paris. And I think just in that final lead-in, the final few seasons before the London Olympics, I really wanted to find a training base that was going to help me get onto the podium in London. And I think thankfully I made the right decision with coming to work with Dave McNulty and Graham Antlis on that.
And I understand, Michael, you also grew up not only just swimming but also playing football. Obviously, with the Olympic medal you have now, that kind of makes your decision, a good one that you decided to stick with swimming. But I understand your dad was also a footballer. Was it hard to tell him that you were going to be a swimmer and not a footballer?
I think, to be honest, he's quite happy with it. I think the swimming kind of chose me, and I think my dad will be pretty happy with that because I wasn't such a great footballer, and playing as a striker without much pace, and I don't think I had much to offer.
And Andrew, you grew up in a town that's not too far outside London, and it's, I believe, about just a couple hours drive from Bath. So do you get to see your family often?
Yeah, I think when I first left the uni, I didn't really make it home much in the first year. But, if ever I want to go home, like you said, it's not far at all. So, it has been good sometimes just to go back and get those home comforts. And, I myself am from a big swimming family, so, it's just, it's great to go home sometimes and just rewind. And, my dad coaches and my parents used to swim, grandparents are really into it as well. So, going home, might catch you on Sunday roast, so it's nice being quite close, far enough.
And Andrew, what you said your parents were swimmers and your grandparents as well. Was that just kind of a natural thing that you were going to be a swimmer, or was it something that you resisted at first?
No, I think like most people, I grew up playing quite a few sports, and then I had to make the choice of what I really wanted to go forward and do. So I think it was great coming from a swimming background. My family supported me the whole time and knew exactly how to help me. So again, the right choice, and deep down you love it. Sometimes the hours, the mornings, it's hard work, but it's great to really represent the family and showing all the hard work they put in, keeping training and really supporting me. It's paid off.
Now the university system there in England is a lot different than it is here in the United States, particularly when it comes to sports. Do you guys have a national university championships like we do here in the States?
We've got the British universities. It's not quite on the scale as the American system, which I think everyone over here is a big fan of as well. But we have the same sort of event on a slightly smaller scale. So it's good for us, I guess, to kind of mix with the other guys in the university squads and and to race for the university because they've shown us quite a lot of support in the past few years.
And
it's 2 meets, 25 metres short course and a 50 metre long course, and you score points for universities.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's two university meets, so that probably even makes it better for you guys. You're not so focused on just trying to do one big championship for short course like we do here in the States. I mean, you still have that long course one to still get some racing in.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so great when sometimes you have to swim the 400 medley on course, which is never one of our favourite events. But yeah, it's good. I mean, we had the short course one early in the season, and then the long course one, coming in later on in the season. So, it's good for the focus to go back to the 50 and potentially practice for trials.
Now, are you two still actually students in college, or have you graduated?
I've actually just finished. I think Andrew's got another
year left. one more year.
All right, and Michael, what did you graduate with?
It's in degree in sports performance, so it's a really tailored course. It's been really easy to manage. It's nowhere near as demanding as chemical engineering, which Andrew's doing. And I can't quite believe how he's managed to balance the coursework and still swim as well as he has been.
Well, Andrew, I want to talk to you about that in a minute. But Michael, if you got obviously a long swimming career, but have you thought about what you want to do with that degree down the road?
I'm not too sure at the moment. I mean, I'd love to go back into football at some stage, and I quite like the sound of talent development and talent ID and the kind of scouting network that some of the football clubs have. So, I mean, that's one potential avenue, but hopefully I've got a few years left yet before I have to make that decision.
Oh, definitely so, definitely so. And Andrew, we talked to a couple of people here in the United States that are also engineering majors, and they talk about how tough it is. I would imagine trying to balance swimming and school just is so tough with an engineering major. How do you make it all work?
I think we've been quite fortunate being at Bath. I mean, the pool itself is actually on the university campus. Short walk or jog in some cases to lectures. Occasionally falling asleep in the sun. I mean, it just manages to get just happen really. And your coursework on camps. I mean, it's tough, but I think it's a great mental stimulation for me as well, which I think has also helped me in my racing. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I was saying, with the support staff as well. I mean, Dave and Graham, our coaches, they're very understanding, and almost urge us to pursue our academics as well. They've accommodated that really well into the program, and I think we've asked much more.
Have you ever had moments where you've maybe, I guess as a swimmer, being a swimmer myself, where you're like, Coach, unfortunately, I've got this big final on your really hard testing day. I guess I got to skip it.
Yeah, I've sent the occasional text from the library early doors as such, just saying that I might not be possibly making it. And come the exam period as well, the coaches are always really understanding, and of course the exams are quite important to me, and I want to be doing really well with my academics as well. So yeah. Occasionally I have to say, look, I'm really run down and let's have this session off, or make it up at another point. So yeah, that has happened.
Well, it's great catching up with Andrew Willis and Michael Jamieson, and is always the case when we're talking to some great swimmers. The interview ran a little long, so we're going to break it up here and bring you part 2 on tomorrow's show. So be sure to join us on swimmingworld.com for that. And that's going to do it for today's Morning Swim Show. I'm Jeff Commings. Thanks for watching.